Fun fact, though, Jared, if you became a private tennis instructor, you could be making somewhere between $50 and $60 an hour.
Oh, well, how do you know that?
Because I've been looking into maybe doing some tennis coaching
Now,
this
Chad,
summer.
Chad, you played your credential. What's your credential? Okay. No, I don't want to judge.
You could ask. I can give you
What
my
are your
credentials.
for? Are you recording, by the way? I'm sure you're not. Oh,
yes,
you
I
are.
am.
Wow, look at that.
Surprises today.
What are
for
your
you,
credentials for teaching tennis?
Jared? 4-year varsity player in high school.
Uh-huh.
Captain of the tennis team senior year of high school.
When did you graduate high school?
2010. It's been
Okay,
a little. It's been a minute. But
11 years ago.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I played 2 weeks ago and ended up
Okay, you're gonna put that
winning.
on the
So, yeah, of course.
varsity tennis athlete, winner of blah 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 in high school, and I played like a week ago.
Exactly. Well, what I'd like to do, Jared, is look into getting certified, because if you get the certification, I mean, it's kind of like if you want to become a referee, right? Like there's like some certification. I think there's some classes you might have to take as well. But it's about to be hot vax summer, so might as well take some classes, get certified.
Tennis is a good it's a good pandemic activity anyway. Because
it's a great pandemic.
You can't just
activity.
stay on your own sides of the court.
Gotta be careful with doubles, though.
You're probably going to be the kind of teacher that's, like when you have to teach them how to properly do their follow through on their swing, you're going to get up behind them and put your arms around them and be like, no. You have to use your hips when when you follow through. That's a full
the golf
body
instructor,
movement.
Jared. That's the golf
Do you
instructor.
feel how I move? That's how you should be moving.
Now put your hands on my hips and watch
This is a great pandemic activity. We are outside. I am behind you. Everything's safe.
Exactly.
Why are you kissing my neck?
It's just extra coaching encouragement.
So you think you want to, or you're considering becoming a tennis instructor?
I've been thinking about it, yeah. Because what am I going to do with my evenings once I'm done teaching at night, Jared?
Relax.
I can't be doing that. Well,
no, that is not the
American way, Jared.
That is not the mentality of a baller.
That's
Ballers
right.
don't relax. That's not how you make millions, by relaxing.
Exactly.
Bezos didn't make it out of his tiny little office by relaxing, Bill Gates didn't make it out of his garage by relaxing.
Exactly, for sure.
But they're evil, People don't like them.
But hey, we are going to be talking about relaxing today, though, with some summer leisure activities.
Billy Gates and
why don't you chill out
Jay
a little
Bezos.
bit?
How about you take a listen? Relax, take a note. Do you guys even listen to podcasts?
Probably not.
No,
I'm sure they have better things to do.
They listen to NPR.
Exactly.
In the background all day.
We should. Well, maybe if we had more of an NPR-esque intro, we could fool them.
How does this vaccine work? Shouldn't I be able to have
podcast?
How does this vaccine work? Shouldn't I have some sort of access to some sort of telepathic way to communicate with Bill Gates?
Oh, you didn't get the manual with your first shot? What you have to do is you have to tap your shoulder 2 times, flick your nip, and then you're good to go.
I flicked my nip first.
See, that's wrong steps.
Once this 5G gets, I hope they're working on updating this, because this is still way too complicated.
Well, I'm just getting frustrated when occasionally I'll be out and my phone doesn't have great service. It's like, well, come on, I got the 5G in my arm. Why is it not Bluetooth compatible? What's going on here?
See, that's an obvious. I understand that you have to swipe your phone through your butt cheeks like a credit card.
I see.
And it sort of restarts it's like a factory reset just of the signal part of it. And it sort of reconnects with your central mainframe.
I've been waiting to do that until I get the seat covers on my van. Don't want any accidental.
See, I have a bidet, so I have no concern about any sort of internet.
You're good to go.
Lag. Yeah, I'll swipe that shit, no problem.
You are good to go.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, that's the way of the future, though, man. If you wanna not have to avoid any future toilet paper shortages, there you go.
That's true.
You just hope there's no water shortages.
I'm not going to make it seem like I'm some sort of revolutionary here. I certainly joined the. I certainly joined the bidet game late, and I joined it literally mainly because I've heard about them forever. But mainly because I saw this shortage at the beginning of the pandemic of toilet paper, and I'm like, I'm beating all of you guys. But
the writing was on the bathroom stall, wasn't it, Jared?
Yeah, that's true. But there was like a month and a half wait on the bidets too, so I wasn't the first one to have this idea. Is what I'm saying.
Right. I guess you're not as revolutionary as I thought, Jared.
No. Let's do a proper intro here, Chad.
Let's do it.
I like the songs. The songs add a level of grandeur and importance to this thing that we do.
And I mean the amount of blood, sweat, and tears I poured into them, Jared.
That's true.
Give a man a laptop, a digital audio workspace, and a guitar, Jared, and he can do some magical things.
Magical. Like this.
Or some untranslatable things, maybe. But you also need a friend to record the tasty bass line. Hello and welcome to the Untranslatable podcast. We are here today to talk about some summer leisure activities in the U.S. and in other parts of the world as well. Because if you haven't noticed, summertime is just around the corner. It is approaching. We have been getting the 8 to 8:30, sometimes even almost touching on 9 p.m. sunsets here in Michigan now, and it is beautiful. It is glorious. I had to do some time traveling to get to the sunset for today's recording, but it was worth it going through the time travel machine and everything else. And we're really looking forward to talking to all of you today about some good summer leisure activities. In case you've been cooped up at home for almost over a year now and you're wondering, what should I be doing as the weather gets nicer out? So stay tuned, everybody, and we are looking forward to bringing you some great summer leisure activity ideas. And if you are vaccinated and planning on traveling, we've got some ideas for you in mind as well. So without further ado, my good buddy and my partner in crime, what's going on, Jared? What's up, player?
Hello, Chad. That is a lovely background. May I ask you where it is?
Lake Michigan, my man.
Okay, you don't know what the city is?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Listen, I mean, the fact that you know what the lake is, that's an impressive step so far, so I'll take it. I'm not going to complain. I do love those beautiful white sandy beaches. One of that behind you in whatever random city that is. Could be Michigan, could be Wisconsin, could be some other states that I can't think of right now.
Chicago?
Didn't I say Illinois?
Did you say? I thought you said.
Oh yeah, you're right. I said Wisconsin and Michigan, Illinois as well. I've missed that one. You know what? One of my favorite summer leisure activities is, Chad. Speaking of, you've had all
biking.
This. Yeah, I like that too. You had all this. That's not what I'm about to say. You had all this talk about. You had all this talk about. No, I'm not a huge fan. No, I'll just tell you what it is. You had all this talk about vaxxed talk and whatnot, and one of my summer activities that I'm looking forward to is porch podcasting, bro. Sitting outside in the sun, chit chatting. You know, that's always the best of times.
Well, guess what porch podcast setup I'm hoping to conjure up for this summer, Jared.
I guess one outside of the back of your van is what you're alluding to.
Yes, sir, because I've bought some like the tarp. I forget the term now, but they're like tarp poles, and I already have my tarp. So we can set that up as like an awning.
Not a tarp, though.
Well, it's literally a tarp, though. So it's a tarp that
How do you make the tarp taut? How do you have a taut tarp?
I'm going to put probably just some like little 5-pound dumbbells down on the part of the tarp that's on my car until I get a roof rack. Then I'll attach it to the roof rack, and then just pull the tarp out as far as I can, and then put the tarp feet thingies out, and then it should be taut. If you pull it far enough out, it should be taut. So
now I also had a consideration: is the tarp big enough where you could almost have like walls? Like if you could have it go all the way to the ground on certain sides, that's too much. Too much.
I think this one
I'm
think is
doing
an
too much.
8 foot. It's an 8 foot tarp, so that one might not be long
Yeah,
enough.
probably not. But still, the
I'm
awning
planning
is
on getting
way
a bigger
more important.
tarp.
The taut awning is the tarp awning is way more important. I have a question about this episode before we commence, though. Are we taking into account during this episode, during the main topic, summer leisure activities? Is this specifically taking into account the fact that it is a pandemic or nah?
I'm going to give you a good old Jein on that one, which is German for yes and no. I mean,
How's that
going
possible?
I'm
So
going to
yes, it would be the answer.
Yeah, I guess yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean but I would say though, Jared, at some point, at least what I've been seeing is there is slowly a light at the end of the tunnel. I don't know if you know this, but in Michigan, 55% of people are now vaccinated.
I didn't know it was at 55%, but I know the governor put out the plan that once we're at 75% vaccinated, I think
We're opening it up, baby.
stuff is coming back open.
Get
and I'm
it
just
going.
Like, 75. How about we just? I don't know. Are you excited?
Yep.
I honestly have no interest to go anywhere, to be honest with you. I mean, I'll come to your house. But in general, I have no interest to, like, hit bars. I have no interest to I don't know. Just because I'm vaccinated, it doesn't seem, to me, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I've been inside for so long. Now I'm a scaredy cat, you know?
Well, I'm keeping it to outside gatherings for the time being. So
that makes sense.
Outside BBQs, a nice little beer garden somewhere.
There's a nice, you should come hang out with me sometime. There's a nice outdoor beer garden situation around the corner for me that I like to go to.
That'd be great. And that is one of my favorite summer leisure activities right there.
Well, perfect.
Grabbing a tasty brewski at the good old beer garden.
Speaking of this whole pandemic thing, I saw this tweet the other day, and it got me thinking, and I wanted to ask you this question as well. So I saved it, I liked it, and I said, I'll remember it, and I did, and it's right here, and I'm going to read it to you. This person, at 1K'd, who's said, COVID things that should stay. Let's go. And he said he has two easily that he can think of. Remote participation in public meetings.
Yep.
So like, your local city council or whatever. In restaurant patios in the streets. Who's got more? ?
Oh, let's do a list. This is easy. I agree 100% with both of those, though. I mean, I think... by
the way, before you answer... I'll give you. It'll give you some time to think. Twitter's the worst, also, because the first multiple responses are like, "As someone who got hit by a car on Saturday while hanging out at a restaurant patio on the street, I'm going to have to disagree on that one." And it's like, okay, and there's actually like a few people that said that, and I was like, okay, I guess I never really thought about that, but
well, I think they need to have better designated spots. Like I was in, I was in Northville a couple weeks ago, and
what? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Please
I was in
continue.
Northville a couple weeks ago, and you should have seen the way they had it set up. Like they had this one area where it was like pretty much just pedestrians only, and then they had the street kind of blocked off in a way where, I mean, sure, if you're not paying attention, a car could for sure drive into the tent or whatever.
But you're in a parking lot.
Right.
I think some of these people are in more urban settings, like a New York City, Chicago kind of situation. Right. So they're actually going out into, maybe not giant streets, but that like,
makes it trickier.
more real streets, not a parking lot.
But I would say big fan of the outdoor eating for sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, especially if the weather's nice. Like, why not?
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you. All
right, so let's try to come up with like maybe 5 to 10 things. We'll see. 10 might be a stretch.
I have one.
Things that. Okay, go for it.
I mean, I wrote down a number in advance. We don't have to put a number on it. Let's just think of some.
Okay.
Staying home when you're sick.
Yep.
Here in the U.S., it's a sign of strength to be like, like you're Jordan playing his flu match or whatever.
That was actually food poisoning, by the way.
Okay, I don't. Yeah,
But still, they call it the flu game or flu match or whatever.
yeah. Well, I guess it could be. I mean, stomach flu, so it's not a lie per se.
That's true.
Is stomach flu? Is that what stomach flu is, or stomach flu something completely different? I don't
I
even
think
know.
it's something different. I think the difference is food poisoning is you eat something that gets you sick, whereas the stomach flu is like a flu virus, right? That makes your stomach upset. That would. I'm not a doctor, but that's how I would differentiate between the two.
Okay. I mean, I gotcha. I don't know either, so I'll go with that. But
yeah, staying home from
that's what
work
I
is a
just
great
said, yeah.
idea. Yep.
I'm gonna say going with just more comfortable clothes in general.
Okay.
Just like I feel like in work wise, not everyone, because a lot of people already are pretty casual, but a lot of companies can like back it off one notch with the whole attire. It's
So
like
you're
I've
not
seen
trying
you,
to go back to work in like in tails with a top hat and a cane,
it's like
monocle.
I'm pretty sure I've seen you in your pajamas at important work meetings at your home. So now we're gonna go back and wear all these khakis and slacks.
They need a wear your pajamas to work day.
No, I would never participate, dude. No.
Bro, some comfy sweatpants?
No. I would never do such a thing. That's no.
Not trying to rock
Certain
the gray
lines,
sweats.
there's certain lines are being crossed. No. I would
right.
never wear sweatpants to work.
You're not trying to wear your pants that say juicy on the bottom?
Yeah, people can't handle all of this. I'm gonna get HR complaints. Listen, you're too sexy. Okay. It's really throwing off.
Sir, why did you get fired from your job? I'm just too sexy.
Yeah, those gray sweatpants. Could you go a size up there, sir? We really like it's impressive and all, but please, we're in a public establishment here.
Okay, I'll wear my black ones next casual
Yeah,
Friday.
no. Wear jeans, large baggy jeans, dad jeans.
Some Deans.
Some D. All right, let's think of some other ones. Things from COVID.
Here's one that's kind of related to the remote meetings, but I think having like a split remote work week is a good idea because number one,
not full work from home.
Right.
Why split?
Well, I say split because depending on your type of job, maybe it makes sense for you to be in the office a couple days a week and then at home, right? And so the reason why split is because if we fully go back, then we're just going to be having all those people, more traffic, all that stuff. Plus, I'll be honest, I like working from home. I would love to work from home a couple days a week and then go into the office a couple days a week. I save time on the commute the days I don't go. It's nice being able to wake up, take a quick shower, and walk up to my office, and there I am.
I hear you. I'm with you. I think that is something that I think that COVID did cause a big shift in the work from home or work telecommuting or whatever they call it culture, and I think that we will see a change on that. At least I know I am, and I know some of my friends are. Like one of my friends, he found a new job during this. Or actually, a couple people that I know found jobs during this that are fully remote gigs. And it's like, all right, yeah, we're doing it. Curbside
way
pickup.
to do it. Yep.
Why was that never a thing before? Just because it's more work for the workers?
Probably, and because a lot of people like to eat in restaurants.
Yeah, but takeout is a thing, Chad.
Yeah, I'm aware it's a thing.
I'm not saying you can't eat in restaurants.
I just think takeout was not the restaurant's main priority.
Now I see.
What I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. Now I see the issue here. They're not going to be able to have, because the people that they have doing the curbside, like running in and out, are people that would probably be waiters,
Exactly.
waiting tables.
Exactly.
So it's like, if we have a full restaurant, we can't have just people running in and out. That's
right.
Okay. That's fair.
You need your designated curbsiders, bro.
But I will still exactly. You could hire some freaking 16-year-old,
right? Running in and out real quick.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, they gave me a new pair of running
track
shoes.
Practice.
yeah. Some gung ho
All the
little high
sprinters.
schooler. Yeah, Johnson. Yeah. Red car. Number or last name's whatever. It's like, okay.
I'm
That was 14 seconds. Good job.
Yeah,
But you can do better than that.
Exactly.
Okay, sorry.
And then it's like
Here's
2
some
years.
Gatorade.
2 years from now, it's like U.S. has the best sprinting team in the world. It's like, why is that? All the curbside pickup sprinters.
Yeah, we'll show those Jamaicans what's up.
That's right. that's right.
It was like, yo, Ethiopia, we're coming for you. That's a little more long distance, I think. But still,
that's the curbside delivery right there.
That's the next level. That's hilarious.
Right.
Do you have anything else you could think of? I'm trying to think. Alcohol to go was one I saw.
Oh,
but
that's
it's
a
like,
good one.
I mean, listen, I already live in a. I don't live in a state where that exists. I go to a state, I guess, pretty often where that exists. So maybe it's not as much of a novelty to me. And I actually I never thought to use it because it seems so wildly overpriced. And it's like, I could just go to the liquor store. Like, I don't need your little special drinks delivered to me. Like the reason I like it in Louisiana at least is because the novelty to me is the daiquiri specifically. I can't make that at home really.
Right. At least not to the level that they
not
can.
as good,
Right.
not the way they do it, and not as good as they do it with the little slushy machines that they use. And so like, yeah, it's like, I don't know if I really need, like, I don't feel that like I'm missing out that much by not living in a state that offers alcohol to go usually,
right.
It's never really been an issue for me.
Another big thing too, Jared, with things I would like to see continue in a post-COVID world, if or when we get there, is wearing masks when it's like flu season or even if you're just not quite feeling well. Like, I really wish we would destigmatize and depoliticize mask wearing. It's like, and actually it's interesting, Jared.
I might think twice about that now when I'm on a plane or in an airport.
Right. Yeah. Especially, enclosed spaces that are kind of tight.
Yeah. It's like a year from now, it's like, I don't know, this vaccine might be a little weak, you know, who knows? Yeah.
Let's see here. Another big one too, though, is just I kind of like the keeping your space a little bit, keeping the distance is kind of nice,
and just lines in general and grocery lines in general. There's no honestly, outside of wintertime, I kind of didn't hate the like only a certain amount of people in. Now maybe you let more than what COVID rules allow. But I didn't really, especially since my main grocery store is kind of a small grocery store. And so, like, even when you did the limit, like, even when they did the limit and there were lines, it didn't really feel that, like, it didn't still feel clustered. Like, it did feel less populated, but it didn't feel that empty, you know? And so I'm like, I don't know. Like, in summer, and it's also for me, it's a nice sign. We'll be like, all right, I just won't go there right now if I see that, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't hate that, and I certainly don't mind spacing out lines a little bit more, dude. I hate it all the time when people are just right up on me, even outside of COVID times. I'm like, well, why? We know you're next. You don't have. This is not third grade. You don't have to like hold your place this hard.
Exactly. Yeah, these aren't private tennis lessons, you know.
Stop marketing your new private tennis company, Chad. It's so obvious. Oh, another one.
We could call it Swingers Incorporated. Like you're swinging your tennis racket.
You are going to get a lot of calls. You are certainly going to get a lot of calls. It's like, oh no, it's really nice the way he comes up behind you and shows you how to do the backswing, if you know what I mean. This is another one that I thought of in addition to the. Now this is possible. The no contact delivery.
Yeah, I like that too. Just
there's
leave it
no
on the porch.
reason. Yeah, the way our technology works, it tells you like either people knock. Sometimes like, I got someone recently that knocked like they were the fucking police, bro. I was like, oh shit, and I was like, oh wait, no, my pizza just got delivered. I was like, why is this person not? It was like like a knock with the fist like that. And I'm like, why are you doing this? But in general... I
want to make sure you ate your pizza. Don't want it to get cold.
This shit's getting cold, bro. Hurry up. But yeah, the no contact delivery seems like a no-brainer to me.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I think has been great, one of the upsides of this whole COVID pandemic has been also just a lot of the like apps where you can like just do stuff early, reserve things in advance, and then like if you can like just scan something on your phone. So like for example, I went to a nature reserve last February, and I booked everything in advance and just had to show them something on my phone. Didn't have to handle any receipts. Didn't have to exchange any cash. It was quicker and easier.
I think this will expedite our move to like a more technological financial system, because here in America or in the United States, we're pretty far behind. I told you, even when I was in Toronto last year, or a year and a half ago or whatever, the tap of the credit card was standard, and at that point I didn't even have a tap credit card. I just got one like a year ago or whatever. But they were like, just tap. That's what everyone, they would say that. Like that's how they say, instead of swipe they say tap. And I'd always have to be like, I got the chip. And they'd be like,
look at this hoser, eh?
Let me dust off this old chip reader at the bottom. And I hope this thing still works.
You must be a Yankee.
Yeah.
Is that what they call us? I don't know what they call us.
Probably. That makes sense that they would call us that. But yeah. So, but I think in general, like, I don't know. I still am a little. I don't know, and I have no reason to really know why, because all my information's already on the internet, banking wise. But I do get a little hesitant with the credit card through my like Apple Pay or whatever.
Right. I tell you what, though, dude. I was talking to this with my students in China. And like paying via WeChat, it was super nice, man. Like honestly, speaking of, like not touching anything, like that was the easiest way to exchange money without having to do anything.
Did it feel like it sucked to come back? Even like I can't even say pre-pandemic, because you came back, but like pre-quarantine in the U.S. when you came back and you were living your life for a short period of time outside. Did you feel like almost like did it feel antiquated almost?
Well, here's the funny thing. So I went from paying with almost everything via my phone in China on a couple of different apps to going to Bali, where I paid everything in cash, and then I came back to the States, and then it was mostly like credit or debit card purchases. Right. So it's I don't know.
So
it's just
there's a transitionary period.
Right. It's just there's something nice though, Jared, about like, yes, we have Venmo and we have Cash App and we have PayPal and stuff like this, but it's not really the same as like WeChat Pay. Like, I mean, a lot of online places right now, they might have like a PayPal, but it's
why?
Not the same. Why?
Because the WeChat Pay is ubiquitous.
Right.
Everyone's on board. It's not because here it's not like, oh, I have Google Pay, I have Apple Pay, I have I don't know what other option there is, but there are other options. Oh yeah, I want to pay through Venmo, let's say, or I want to pay through my PayPal account
or Cash App.
It's like it's like there, but in China it seems like whether you're paying at a store or whether you're giving someone money personally. They've all agreed we're just going to use this one system ubiquitously, if that's a word, to give each other money, no matter what sort of level it's on.
Right, and it's super nice though, Jared, because you could just hold up your phone, and it's a code, and then they scan it with the cash register scanner thingy. Then there's like this little bing sound, which means the payment was accepted, and then you go on your merry way.
Now, I don't know if you know the answer to this, but can you like make substantial purchases through WeChat, like cars, or like if you go to a dealership to buy like a new like Ferrari,
right?
Can you just put your phone up and do it, or is there some? I mean, obviously you weren't in the market for any Ferraris while you were living there,
right? I know, hard to believe, but
or like a house,
right?
Is it just like you just WeChat the money over to someone?
I would think I'm sure there's a certain limit to it. I would guess.
Because I feel like once you get to a certain level, the government's like, why did that sum of money just get transferred in one go or something?
Right.
And then someone else steps in to be like, what's going on here?
I'm not sure what those laws
but maybe
are.
Maybe that's just another like level of authentication through your phone that you have to go through. Who knows?
Right. There. Yeah. With maybe. Yeah. It could be that there's like a threshold.
It's like this person's authorized for this much.
Right. Yeah, I could certainly see how they might have something like that set up.
Like a black card of WeChat accounts.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. That's what we need to come up with, Jared. The app that's the black card of PayPal or what have you.
You don't want to get into banking. That's a dirty place to be. No. Your soul shrivels away quickly in the banking world, sir.
I see. Were you a banker in your previous life or something, bro?
The banking industry is just not a great industry.
Thankfully we're in the podcasting industry.
Yeah. That certainly won't. Yeah. Okay. Let's just move on to some untranslatables. I don't even know.
All right. Sounds good.
I'm flustered.
Good. I'm doing my job.
Untranslatable, people. They are sayings, idioms, axioms, expressions that don't really translate directly into English or whatever your native language is. But we try to decipher them here, and we're professionals, by the way.
Oh, for sure. I would say we are the top of the top, Jared. The cream of the crop. And I will get us started today, Jared, with an Arabic untranslatable. Ad-dunya osor wa yosor, which means the world is hard and happy.
Hard and happy?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, all's good, bro. Chill out, man.
Do you have that ham horn, my man?
No. But thank you.
Dear.
Yeah, it's really, I actually, I told you I've been cleaning up this place. I found a dongle.
Nice.
I plugged it in. Didn't work.
Oh, that's a bummer.
And I'm like, of course. This is a bad system. Bad system.
But yeah, anyways, though, Jared, yes. So this untranslatable, ad-dunya osor wa yosor.
Yeah, we got it.
The world is hard and happy. It basically, as you said, it's a phrase we use to basically cheer somebody up if they're having a rough day.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, there's good and bad days.
Yeah. Mine's a little different. I'm going to be honest with you right off the bat. It's Welsh. Welsh is okay. Paide malu kachu. Listen, I don't know what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know how to say it. And they probably can't. They probably don't even have Welsh on Google, so we're just going to go with it. The literal is stop breaking shit.
Uh-oh. Stop breaking shit?
Mm-hmm.
Is this as straightforward as it should be?
I don't know what that. You tell me, Chad. You're the one deciphering.
Does it mean stop being careless?
Is that as obvious? Is that what that?
I don't know. I don't know if that's as obvious.
That's what you think.
Or
does
it mean
stop
like being destructive? I mean, is it literal? Is there something?
See, this is why I'm glad I because none of those are it. So I guess it's not as obvious as it seems.
Okay, let's see here.
But it is
breaking shit.
It is more. It is the translation is more direct. I'll say, like it's not far off from stop breaking shit. Let's put it that way.
So it's
stop breaking shit, bro.
Is it? Oh, stop complaining.
No. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. What if what you told me? So while you're in China, you told me, "Hey, bro, turns out I can buy a Ferrari with my WeChat," and I'm like, "Stop breaking shit."
Oh, stop lying. Stop pulling my leg.
Sure, yeah, we'll go with that. That's sure, yeah. That's the PG version, but I think a more direct.
My chain.
Oh, is that's also the P? Yeah, sure, that's also a PG version.
What's the R version?
I wouldn't say R.
Stop busting my balls.
Is that R to you?
I don't know. What's the R version?
That's hilarious. I don't know what the R version is. I would say my version is probably the PG-13 version, and it's more of a direct translation. It's stop bullshitting.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't think that's an R-rated
bullshit.
word. I don't think bullshit is an R-rated swear word.
I don't know.
I think you're allowed maybe a couple.
I know we've talked about swearing, but it might be fun to do an episode where we rank like from best to worst, or like the strongest swears to the least strong swears.
Okay, all right,
might be fun. We can put that in the think tank. All right, Jared, I got a Brazilian Portuguese untranslatable for you. Estou frito, which means to be deep fried.
Is that to be like drunk?
You know, that's a
deep fried, bro.
That's talk about some good summer leisure activities, bro. No, I would say if you're deep fried, well, you could be deep fried. Maybe you could definitely be deep fried if you got. I'm trying to think of this without giving it away here. You could certainly be deep fried, Jared, if you do have too many and then something bad happens, maybe.
What, if you fall asleep outside in the sun?
Nope.
Is that too literal?
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the... I mean, think about, if someone was fried, Jared...
If you find yourself in a sticky situation?
There we go. I'll give it to you. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
That sounds like an 80s term from a movie, though, man. We're deep fried, man. After they stole some high schooler stole a police car and crashed it.
Oh, man, we're deep fried, man. We're in so much doo-doo, man.
Yeah, deep fried is a nice PG word for you because I know...
Trying to keep it family-friendly, Jared.
All right, I have one more untranslatable for you, and it's Malay, and it's makan angin. Eat wind.
That's to get sick, isn't it?
No. Hopefully this doesn't happen when you eat wind. Hopefully you don't get sick. Is what I mean when you eat wind.
Is it to run? To exercise?
No.
To be tired?
I'll say this, Chad. It looks like you're eating wind over there.
Hang out on the beach?
When might someone be hanging out on the beach?
Summertime when it's
What would
warm?
be the occasion for them personally?
Like a party?
Jesus Christ. I think you're honestly getting worse at these untranslatables.
Uh-oh.
It's to go on vacation.
Oh, I like that. Okay, to eat wind. Okay. That's a good one. Okay. I'll give you another. No, that's a little too dark. Let me.
Dude, as someone that's obsessed with segues, I layupped you a perfect segue. And now you're just like, let me scroll through and look for.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about summer
Speaking
leisure
of going on
activities,
vacation,
let's talk about some summer leisure activities. Exactly.
You love segues. I thought I was doing you a favor.
You gave me a layup and I missed it, dude. Or you gave me an alley oop, bro, and I went to slam and I hit the rim. Yeah.
You could have done any sort of sweet slam dunk that you wanted with this alley oop.
I hit the rim.
Let
me just scroll a little bit. Well, let's do it though. Let's talk about some summer leisure activities, Jared. And because summer is around the corner, and number one, I think this episode will be good for you and I to think of some fun summer leisure activities, but also for all those listeners out there who have been cooped up and are ready to get out there and go do some stuff. And when I say get out there and do some stuff, I'm not saying that you have to go to a concert and be crammed like sardines with a bunch of randos you don't know. I'm saying just get out in the world and do some fun things while the weather's nice and summer is upon us. So with that being said, Jared, I think my number one summer leisure activity is going to be very general, but just doing something outside. I think that's like the number one summer leisure activity. And I want to leave this vague a little bit just because I think the beauty in summer is that when you have that amazing weather, you have so many different options, right? So I want to go through some of maybe your top things you would want to do outside, and we can talk about them a little bit. And can I guess them? Since we've been friends for quite some time, I think I can guess a couple summer activities you're hoping to do this summer.
Sure, go for it.
Number one, I think maybe mountain biking or biking. Do you ever bike on any trails, or is it mostly more like legit mountain biking?
If I say I'm going mountain biking, it's legit mountain biking. I'm not one of those people that, so my cousin that you've met before. Mm-hmm. I used to tell him that I would mountain bike. He's like, oh yeah, I do that too. I mountain bike. And I'm like, I don't think you, no offense, but I don't think you
Did you
fully
call him
understand
a poser?
What I'm saying. And he took me on some like quote unquote trails around his home. And they're literally just like, little gravel trails that you could honestly do with a road bike if you had enough balance. And so I was like, oh, so he was in Michigan one time, and I was like, oh, do you want to come mountain biking with me? I think maybe he brought it up. He might have brought it up. Because I don't think I would have just put that on him, because I know. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and he said, and I was like, I don't know. He's like, I could do it. And I was like, all right. And I was gonna take him to one place that's admittedly harder than the two places that I tend to go to. My dad's like, don't do that. Like, you can't. And I was like, fine. So I took him to the other one, and like, he like a mile in, he was pretty exhausted, and like, oh my God, this is tiring. He's like, how far have we gone? I was like, maybe like a mile. He's like, oh, okay, that's not bad. He's like, about how much farther are we? And I was like, it's a circle, and there's probably like, I don't know, 8-9 miles left. He's like, oh no, and he like, and it was like a single sort of track circular like ring thing, and he like turned around, and he's like, no, I'm going back. And I was like, all right, and but even more than mountain biking, I'm not really looking forward to mountain biking that much, because I'm really way past due on a new bike.
Okay.
And so
well, you sell your whip, you could use some of that and probably get a pretty nice new mountain bike.
Thank you, Chad. That's great financial advice. What I think I am
your financial advisor.
What I think I would rather do, which is what I was getting to, is switch over to road biking. I think I like the option of mountain biking, and it's not that I'm never going to do it again, because I do like it. It's more fun. But just like biking on the road is more accessible as far as like a sort of as we say, leisurely exercise. I don't really consider. Now, mountain biking is a leisurely activity, but as far as like, there's just a lot more risk for chances of things to go wrong. Is all.
Sure, and it's pretty strenuous too. Really, I mean, legit mountain biking.
And so like so like I like sort of like the effortless speed of like a road bike, and it's a lot more accessible to just do, rather than having to drive somewhere.
Bike tights and the fancy helmet while you're at it.
No, probably not. Yeah, that's hilarious. And I'm gonna like start joining groups, and there's gonna be like 30 of us going down the street together, just blocking the road.
We hang out for a porch pod, and you've got like 5 Live Strong bracelets on.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I just come over. I'm gonna come over in like branded gear. It's
right. Like, dude, you're like a road bike over is what you're gonna do.
Every time I come over to your house, like my bike is on my car. I'm just like, hey, you never know.
Exactly.
How's the biking? There's some great biking roads around here.
Well,
so
speaking of that,
though, Jared, doing
the
podcast in the tights and just go straight to the trails.
Speaking of that, we need to get some
now
untranslatable.
You want to do a segue, please. Speaking of that, yes.
Speaking of that, we got to get our untranslatable logo on your booty of your bike tights, so when you're really speeding and the car is behind you, they can see see what podcast they need to be listening to.
That's brilliant.
That's not solid marketing, Jared. I don't know what else is. But speaking of that, though, Jared, I do actually usually keep a tennis racket and a soccer ball in the trunk of my car for that kind of same reason, that same idea of, well, you never know. You never know when you want to have a quick pickup soccer game or hit a couple tennis balls. I do
that with my soccer bag for sure. That just has my my cleats, as us Americans say, which I'm stuck in a weird place.
Boots.
What do you say, by the way? Because I kind of hate the
soccer
word cleats. I kind of hate the word cleats because it sounds like super American. I don't know.
I just say cleats because we're in America.
But I'm not gonna say boots because then I sound like a real. All right, I'll say cleats.
If you're gonna do that, you just gotta fully. Well, you just have to fully commit and just call them football boots. My footies.
I think I just always think of one of my classmates from Germany, and in one of our German classes, he was like, "How do you say cleats in German?" And my German teacher was like, "What are cleats?"
How do you say cleats? There's a special word for them.
You
can say Fußballschuhe, but I think there's a specific word for, because when you're talking about cleats, you're talking about specific soccer shoes with the cleats, which are the studded things at the bottom.
Yeah, I don't know. I just say Fußballschuhe.
Right. But yeah, I mean, the great thing, though...
Sounds like a corny word. That's what it is. Cleats.
Cleats.
It's a lame word. But yeah, I keep my cleats on me.
If you ever adopt a child or have a child, you should name him Cletus.
Yeah, my southern family will love that.
There we go. Cletus.
Yeah. Cletus, meet your uncle Cletus. And this is your cousin Cletus. My family's from the South. That's why everyone's named Cletus. I actually don't have any family named Cletus. What are some other summer outdoor activities you enjoy doing, Chad? First of all, we need to, I think, continue to address, just to keep you accountable to the fact that at this point, 2 months ago, you bought a van specifically for the outdoor leisure activities.
Yep.
And the only outdoor leisure activity you've done with the van is working on the van in your driveway outside.
Which has been very leisurely and
That's
certainly
okay.
been
Well,
going
there you
at
go.
a leisurely pace.
Are you
that's for
afraid to
sure.
go somewhere? Is that what it is? Are you afraid to actually test it out?
No, I don't have all my junk to go yet.
Yeah.
I don't have all my junk to
You
go.
need every last piece of equipment.
I do, exactly. Well, I think I told you I got my battery, so that's good.
You
and
certainly
that's all
couldn't
charged
survive
up and
without
ready
the
to
front
go.
window blocker. There's no way.
That's right. It
You
would
could go
be very
camping without
deadly,
that.
very dangerous, Jared. Actually, though, May 21st, I will be
Don't
heading
do this.
on
Don't do this.
No, I already booked the campsite.
Okay.
I already booked the campsite.
Okay.
So my
This is
sister
it's like
actually...
the third time you've said this. I'm just saying.
I know. But anyway, so my sister actually booked. She bought a like an RV trailer or a camper. It's a camper
Damn.
trailer.
Nice.
And so they were like, "Hey, we were planning on going camping." I was like, "Oh, that's sweet. Let me join you guys." So I'm going to crash their party.
That makes more sense
in
now.
May.
That makes more sense now.
So that'll be fun.
Okay.
Well, that's also one of the reasons why I got the van, though, Jared, was so I could like go do wilderness and camping stuff with friends and family.
Of course. Of
You know?
course.
It's fun to do
course.
some solo trips, but it's good to be with people as well.
You've done some great solo trips too. It's time to reconnect with family.
Exactly. But yeah, so let's see here. Some other good summer leisure activities. I mean, the big thing I would say
I
is...
like hammocks. That's one that I love.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'm a big fan of hammocks. I'm moving soon, so it doesn't really matter. But there's a nice hammock spot right in my backyard that actually is already pre-set up, like with 2 trees with hooks in them.
Nice.
And dude, oh man, the hammock life is great.
How much does a decent hammock run usually? Are they expensive?
I mean, what do you...
A couple hundred? Less than
No, it's not a
100?
couple hundred. You can get it for like probably $50 to $80. You can get a good hammock.
That's not bad.
Couple hundred. What kind of hammock do you think I have?
I don't know. what kind of luxurious
got
hammock
Bluetooth in it?
lifestyles you got. Exactly.
With a Harman Kardon speaker system?
And a refrigerator.
Yeah, no, hammocks are not that expensive.
Okay, because I've been thinking about that actually as well with camping, but yeah, actually, Jared, there's only a couple things left on my list for my van, and I'm hoping to get everything done by next weekend. I was going to take the van out last night actually, and unfortunately, I'm still waiting on a couple more things. Like one thing I'm still waiting on, I was supposed to get it delivered yesterday, and it just didn't come, so it should be coming sometime today, is my camping cookware set. So I already got the little camping stove, which is this really cool foldable, you can like put sticks and other stuff down in the bottom of it, and then because I just didn't feel comfortable, I don't want a bunch of like butane or propane in my van if I'm going to be sleeping in it. And I haven't bought any carbon monoxide detectors. That would be, so if I did have propane or butane in the van, then I'd just probably get one of those detectors and stick it somewhere, because that's what a lot of the van lifers do, just to be safe. And you know me, Jared, better safe than sorry. So
I haven't noticed.
But that does lead to one of, I think, another great summer leisure activities, Jared, which is just camping. Especially if you're in a place where it's not
if you're
too
into that
ungodly
thing.
hot.
Dude, camping's all right. Yeah, I guess. I guess to me it just I don't have any definitely have no interest in camping by myself, really. Cuz it's
Not trying to become one with nature, Jared.
It's not a leisurely activity to me. It's work it's a bunch of work, and then you're alone, and then what do? You get hammered by yourself during the night.
That's right.
And then
fight a couple bears.
and then you sleep uncomfortably. I never sleep well when I've never once in my life slept well during a camping trip. I'm
You
always
clearly
like,
didn't get hammered enough before you went to bed.
yeah, I'm not camping right. That's the problem.
You need 2 bottles of wine.
I'm
every
always
camping trip.
either like uncomfortable with my setup, and it feels like, and it's not, just not comfortable, or like I'm always sort of like half awake, half asleep, just because I'm so like out of my element, you know, in a new location. It's hard for me to just fully get comfortable and fall into a deep sleep. So it's hard for me to call that. And I've had some fun trips that involved camping with friends before, a few that I've actually really enjoyed. But you know, it's not going to be really my first choice, probably.
Okay. Well, Jared, let's bring it down a notch for you then. So if camping isn't quite your cup of tea,
I would camp in a van, and I would go by myself. I think I would actually go places. I could get into that. But the thing is, I feel like I would have to go like full size van, you know, just because
you calling my van small, Jared? Huh?
I think more just because, dude, I'm looking at hammocks now. You're talking couple hundreds. You can get nice ones for like $40, bro.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or you could get a used pickup truck and just put a little bed in the back of a pickup and put a cab on the top of it, and there you go.
Yeah, that's true. But but that's a big investment for something that I don't think I'm that interested in, you know?
Right.
I'd rather just have a fun car, drive around all day, and go home. Like, no joke. Drive around for hours and then go home and sleep in my bed. That's a more leisurely activity to me than going camping in the woods.
And see, for me, the whole purpose of the van is so I can do some longer road trips and can be out on the road. You know what I mean? I really wish you had your drops, because that would be a perfect on the road again drop. But
I'll have it ready. I'll guarantee to you, I'll have it ready by the time you have your van ready. I'll have that drop ready.
One thing I do need to figure out, though, with my van, actually, Jared, is how I'm going to set everything up so I can record the pod in there. Because that is certainly something I need to have figured out before I go, because I will be going usually on the weekends, and so that's prime podcasting time, baby. So,
are you committed to podcasting on the road?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, as long as I have signal and service, why not?
Because I was about to say, I was just gonna say it's not that hard to just record at a different time. Right.
I mean, that's also true. But anyways, I do want to take
that's what I'm saying. But if you're committed to it, there are certainly ways to make it happen.
Well, what I'm hoping to eventually be able to do with the van, Jared, is I've come to a bridge and I've decided to cross it. I'm going to mount some stuff in my van. Eventually, or when I first got the van, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try to do this without screwing anything into the van, right? Like, so I could essentially in a couple of years, if I wanted to, or even, you know, I could resell the van, and then there wouldn't be any, you know, quote unquote damages or what have you. But I've decided, you know what, I want this van to be comfortable for me when I'm out camping, when I'm chilling, what have you. So I want to mount a folding table on one of the back doors. So when I open the back door up, I can have a table if I'm like sitting outside chilling. And then I also want to put a folding table on the inside and mount it to I guess it would be kind of like in between the two door frames. I guess it's like a door frame or a window frame. Mount it there. So I have a flip up table right there. So that's where I would probably put my, my digital audio workstation when we record and all that good stuff. So we'll see.
Digital audio workstation. Mm-hmm. That was the most, I've never heard it called that, but that was the most official shit I've ever heard.
Sorry,
my digital audio workstation?
It's actually a digital audio interface is what I meant.
But workstation makes it seem like the whole thing. Like,
well, I guess that's what we can call it, because it'll be my mic. It'll be
I thought that was a real term. Like for
it is. Well, the digital audio workstation, I think that's more your software, if I remember correctly, like Pro Tools, GarageBand, something like that. Anyways, let me take it down a notch though, Jared. So if camping isn't quite your cup of tea, another great summer leisure activity is do some hiking, and especially like if you're in Michigan, for example, do some hiking or something near a lake or a river, and then you could take a nice little dip as well.
Yeah, I'm down with that. That's a tall order. The hike
and the dip
to the place where you can take the dip.
Yeah,
So
I don't think that's a tall
have you
order.
done that
You just
before?
have to know.
Have you ever done that before?
Well, did I ever take you to the little spot here in Dexter?
I'm familiar with it. I know what you're talking about.
That's the spot where I got that idea from. You know, it's not even half a mile hike. You hike kind of it's by Huron. It's off the Huron River, and then there's this great, gorgeous little spot where you can get in the water, and people have actually put the rocks up into like a circle formation, so you can sit there like a pool. So it's really awesome. So you have this running river, but then you can sit in that area right there and not be swept away by the current because there's these rocks set up. So it's a nice little setup.
Interesting. So it is like a wade pool essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's fun to do that.
Yeah, it depends on the lake also, or the river or lake.
Oh, for
sometimes
sure.
they're kind of gross, Like lakes
Right.
are, like I don't like seaweed rubbing up against my legs and stuff.
Sure.
Call me crazy, okay?
Right? Don't want turtles snapping at your toes or other things. That's for sure.
I'm not a, and I hear all the racist jokes already. I'm not a huge water fan. I know how to swim. I'm not afraid of the water per se. I'm kind of afraid of the ocean, I'll be honest with you. But I'm just not I'm not a huge fan of like water activities. It wouldn't be something I would gravitate towards. I don't mind hanging out on a beach, I guess. Oh, except I take that back. I'll do I'm into like a kayaking or like a canoe trip or something.
I was going to ask you what your thoughts would be on. Let me give you a couple water activities, Jared, and I
think what I'm saying is I don't want to be in situations where I'm like swimming in a kayak or canoe situation is like a worst case scenario,
Right.
So I just don't want to. I just don't like swimming. I think, or like hanging out in water is not that fun to me.
Well, here, let me give you a couple options here, and let me know what would be kind of your first choice. So we'd have like kayaking or canoeing, either in a river or a lake. Floating down a river or lake, you even do like a little. Some people float with like inner tubes, and then they have a cooler tied to their inner tube, so you can have your refreshments as you go down the river. So kayaking or canoeing, floating down the river, going swimming, which I think will be one that I'm
Let
also
me
not
answer.
a huge
Just
fan of
keep
swimming.
going. Let me answer for myself. Keep going.
Go for
what are
it.
the other options?
That's okay.
You made it seem like
last
there were
one.
more
Last one
options.
for you. Last option. So we'll do 4 instead of 5. Last option: chilling on like a boat or a pontoon boat.
See, this is tough. You got me with that last one.
Right. I wanted to throw in a little twist.
I think number one for me might have to be 2 or 3 people in a canoe. 3 people too many. Let's say 2 people in a canoe. And I'm mixing a couple because I'll throw some beers or beverage or in there too.
Right.
But I think in the canoe with the beers where you can sort of chill in the canoe and do that.
Then you need 3 people, so you can easily pass it. Well, no, if the canoe's short, I guess you can pass it between 2. Or
Yeah,
throw
I mean, I'm
it.
okay with 3 people too. For if the canoe's big enough.
Right.
I'm okay with 3 people. That actually might be better than 2. Let's be honest. 3's, two's a crowd, 3's a party, or whatever they say. That's so untranslatable that I butchered. That would be my first one, and I think the second one would certainly be the hanging on the tuner, on the pontoon, with the shitty speakers playing some sort of
Country music.
Whatever music you white people like,
Uncle
like
Cracker.
Sweet Caroline or some bullshit.
Rascal Flats.
Yeah. Oh my God. You know what? I actually
Shania
rather
Twain.
be eaten by sharks than be on that pontoon. That's the water activity I prefer than being trapped on that pontoon doing keg
Reenacting
stands
Jaws.
and. No. Okay. So the pontoon would be number 2.
Okay.
And and what, lazy river and swimming are the last 2
Yep.
options. Then I'd do
Yep.
the lazy river, I guess, with like the tubes. And then swimming, or just like hanging out in water is kind of a thing too. I'd probably like hang out at like a hotel pool, like casually.
Ooh, that's always fun.
Before
the swim up bar.
Before I'd want to like hang out in like a lake, beach kind of situation. Unless
That's
it's like,
fair.
yeah, no, just in general, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think the thing with lakes and beaches as well is it's just a whole different vibe than like a pool hotel, a hotel pool. For sure. I would say for me,
and
I'm
I like
going to
those
put
Miami hotels, where they have the pit, where they hire Pitbull for the day on Saturday. And
Mr. Worldwide.
now this is a party. No, I'm just
Dale.
kidding. So, yeah, go ahead, please.
Let me give you my rating as well. So I would say,
sure, of course.
number one for me, though, I would have to go with pontoon boat because we had a pontoon boat. My grandmother lived on a lake when I was a kid, and that was just a blast, just chilling on the pontoon boat. And we would, go out to the middle of the lake where the water was really deep, and you could, do cannonballs and jump off the pontoon boat.
You know what I also throw in there is a paddle boat as well.
Those can be fun. That could be a good leg workout too.
I might put that on par with like a canoe situation.
Okay.
Because you can still, I mean, it's only two people, but you can still have all the, it's well, actually, I'm going to put that below the canoe because it's less space. It's
okay.
Less space, but it's still fun.
Can't bring as many goodies with you, I guess.
Exactly.
That's fair. And if we're trying to have prime time, leisure time, Jared, you want to come prepared.
Yeah, you can't spread out as much in it.
Oh, for sure.
I guess you kind of can, I guess. It doesn't matter. Keep going. Give me your
let's see here.
ranking.
So pontoon number one. Number two would probably be chilling by a beach or lake / like leisurely swimming would be probably my second choice. Third choice would be canoe, kayak, do that. And then fourth would be, I'm just not a big fan of like floating down the lazy river. Like if I'm going down a river, I would rather be
that's my
in
thing.
a kayak
in a boat
canoe,
of some sort. Like
exactly.
Like where I'm at least have some control over where I'm going.
Right, exactly.
And I can also have the same lazy situation, but I don't have to also risk, because then the laziness immediately to me goes away in that situation when you fall out of the tube, which is kind of inevitable, into the nastiness of the middle of a river, which is all just thick seaweed. And I'm like, ugh.
Right.
I don't know if I touch seaweed or sea urchins or if now I have a leech infestation on my legs. It's just a gross feeling.
Or you get like a fallen over tree branch scraping up your booty.
You know what it reminds me of? Jesus Christ, Chad. It reminds me of like if say you have like a big sort of dinner party event happening and you fill up your sink with water to clean the dishes, and you've cleaned an entire like dinner party's worth of dishes in a batch of water, and you're sticking your hand into that old dishwater looking for like the final little
the fork,
like utensils and shit like that, and you're just like pushing around all the pieces of food and stuff in the water.
Oof.
That feeling is a terrible feeling. And it's how I feel when I step into the middle of like a lake or a river. Both sort of give a similar vibe,
right? With
that nasty,
that's true,
thick.
I will say,
feeling.
I think the top place for summer swimming might be, instead of rivers, would be lakes, and I would even say like those really crystal clear mountainside lakes. I love those. Like when we were in Austria, when we were in Mariazell, and we went to, I don't remember the name of that lake anymore.
I don't either. I never knew what it was. I probably forgot it as soon as we left.
It was gorgeous.
It was
the nice thing
freezing, though. It was the middle of summer, and it was freezing.
But that's what's perfect about it. If you can, like, especially play like a soccer game by the lake, and then go jump in to cool yourself off.
That's true. That does sound pretty fun. I do like the sound of that. And it was crystal clear. Like you certainly don't have any of the issues with the seaweed and stuff. It doesn't seem like.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice. And that's actually, that's almost using the lake for a therapeutic purposes, like physically therapeutic purposes. I can get on board with that. That's not even just like a leisure hangout in the water. I'm doing a bunch of activities, and now I'm giving myself an ice bath.
Right, for sure. I think that the key with summer leisure activities is you want to maximize your comfort, right?
Yeah.
Like, you have this beautiful weather, you have the sun shining, but you want to make sure you're not too hot. Always stay hydrated, have a good beverage on hand,
You know what I thought of for you? I'm starting to get the vibe that you're not going to do it, but just an idea. Camping on finding a beach you can camp on,
Yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. You're right.
Yeah.
It would be fun, but I just hate the idea of getting sand everywhere. Sand is like glitter. Sand is like nature's glitter.
That's true.
once it's there, it somehow is everywhere.
3 years from then you're gonna be on a different trip and be like, why is there still sand? Right. Yeah, I guess so. That's true. Right. That's true.
10 years down the road, I sell the van, and then I'm like still vacuuming sand out of it from that one
I think
trip.
it just looks good on TV.
right? Yeah.
Camping on the beach looks so peaceful. But that is true. That would be a disaster. Every time you step in and out, you're just trampling sand that's never gonna leave. Right. Yeah, you're right.
I got to get some better tires on my van too before I start
I'd imagine
driving
at this
around
point
I'd
imagine you'd have those off-road tires that you've been looking at.
I've been trying to figure that conundrum out. We'll have to talk about that.
Why is it a conundrum?
Well, because I haven't been able to find all terrains that fit. I need to like talk to somebody who like really knows their stuff about tires.
I bet you I can find them.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it after the pod. One thing I wanted to do today as well, Jared, is I found a fun summer activities list, and I wanted to run these activities by you. And then I was thinking we could also talk about some places where these might be good to check out. So number one, Jared, and this comes under the category of nostalgic summer activities. Ride a roller coaster or hit up an amusement park. What are your thoughts on that, Jared?
I don't know why that's nostalgic. First of all, did you see on social media Disneyland or World, one of them? I don't know. They're the same to me. One of them just opened up recently, and patrons were bawling their eyes out inside of Disneyland or World or whatever. And like, with their Disneyland shirts on and stuff, or their little Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse ears on. I'm like, pathetic, all of you.
Why were they crying? Because they were finally able to go somewhere outside of the house?
There's Disney people that go like every week or like
right.
or like every like they
every year.
Go with their family once a year. It's like an occasion, and they have the freaking shirts that everyone's matching, and they have like their favorite hotel that they always go to or whatever.
Right.
I don't know why it's
not high up on your list.
No, it is. I don't know why it's not. I don't know why it's nostalgic, because like I love the idea of going to Cedar Point. I haven't been to Cedar Point in a long time, and I'd happily see. That's the thing about being.
That's like why it's nostalgic, though, Jared.
But the only reason I haven't gone in a long time is because I'm a loner. I don't have a group of 6 friends, or I can just get together like that I want to hang out with all day. I had to
Plus stand in lines for hours on end.
I'd have to gather them for like some sort of superhero calling people, because they got to come from all parts of the U.S. for me to be able to get together that number of people. But it's not a but okay, whatever. Yeah, I'm down with that. I'm down to go to Cedar Point.
Thoughts on seeing a movie at a drive-in?
I love that. I've done that a bunch of times, and I love it. Love it. It's the best. Cool. Love it.
See, I would be down to do that, and then I'd park my van sideways so I could lay in my bed while I watch the movie.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
You're going to forget what the movie's even playing. 3 minutes in.
Fall asleep. Just gone out.
Yeah, okay.
Here's another nostalgic one that I would love to do this summer. So if you're down for this, Jared, we could for sure do this. Play some miniature golf. I haven't played putt-putt in forever.
Yeah. It's like a date that you went on in like 10th grade or something.
Yeah, something like that.
My parents will pick me up.
Exactly.
At 6.
Get some ice cream while you're at it.
Yeah, I'll play putt-putt if you want. Sure, chat.
Right. Here's
not?
one that I think is kind of a Michigan one, but maybe not. I could be wrong about that. But like just hanging out and watching the fireflies or catching fireflies.
I've never done that in my life. I mean, I've seen fireflies, but I haven't watched fireflies.
You've never just chilled on the porch and just looked outside and watch them as dusk comes?
Sure. I've seen. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. But I guess. But I don't think. Yeah. Okay, I guess so. But I don't think of as. I guess I've never thought of the aspect of looking at the fireflies as the leisurely part of why I'm out there. Like I like being outside and sitting out on my porch. But I guess I'm never like, oh, I love looking at these fireflies. They're just there,
Right.
I take everything for granted. As I listen to myself right now, I'm like, you are exactly what's wrong with the world. How about you slow down and smell the roses?
Exactly. Well, that's the beauty of summer leisure time, Jared. That is the time to smell the roses, enjoy the fireflies. Let's talk about some relaxation things you can do, Jared. Number one, I think you will be a fan of this
group.
One. We are. There were only a couple in nostalgia. Now we're in relax. Nap in a hammock.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Can I ask you, though, just because for me, when it comes to leisure, I definitely want to have, some type of brewski in hand while I do it. Is it uncomfortable to, like, try to drink when you're laying down in a hammock? Do you have to I'm assuming you can sit up,
It's
right?
kind of uncomfortable to drink. It's also kind of uncomfortable for me personally to sleep in a hammock. Like I like to lie in a hammock, like listen to a podcast or music or something. But falling asleep is tough. I can kind of get half there, but just because it's it's sort of a weird position. The drinking thing, usually what I do in
just chug your beer before you get on your hammock.
Yeah, I just rip shots, bro. What are you talking? I actually sometimes, or if I'm like reading a book or something, I'll sit in the hammock sideways.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So my feet sort of dangle off the edge,
right?
And my back is sort of up against the side of it, and that sort of puts me up in a more upright position.
Okay. Well, speaking of dangling your feet, Jared, how about dangling your feet off a dock in the water?
Every time you do another one of these terrible segues, it just makes me so mad how you just blew past my perfect segue into this topic. And speaking of dangling your feet, what? Sorry, I got just distracted because I got angry again. Speaking of dangling your feet, what?
Dangling your feet like off the dock in the water or like poolside. I feel like that's a fun relaxation activity. You're just
it depends on where you're at. Where would you want to do that at? Because you gave very different examples right there.
Well, for example, if you're at a lake, but you're like, I don't know if this is good swimming material, but you just kind of leave your feet in the water, cool off a little bit. Sun's coming down, you're relaxing by the water side. Something like that.
I'm going to modify it for myself personally. I like where you're at. Where I see myself doing that is mid-hike somewhere. I've been to...
Oh, good call.
Like, when I was hiking in Tennessee and North Carolina with Brad in the Smoky Mountain Bay. I always throw myself off not to say Smokey Robinson in the Smoky Mountain because then I went Smoky Mountain Bear getting confused. And what is the smoke? I don't even know what they're called anymore. In those forests over there, and then in Colorado, I've gone hiking a few places, and occasionally you do see these sort of like mini creeks or like mini lakes. And especially if it's like a big hike, I see myself more like midday pulling off for like a sort of extended break on a hike where it's like cracking open some granola bars. We're by this waterfall. There were a lot of waterfalls in Tennessee in that national park there. And so that's where I see myself doing it. Like me and Brad actually did do that. We would bring some beers in the backpack and we would go to a waterfall and so yeah, I dip my feet in there once or twice. That's
actually one of my summer goals this summer, Jared, and / summer leisure activity I want to do, which is chill by a waterfall.
How's Michigan on waterfalls? I don't even know.
We actually have quite a few, but they're mostly into UP.
Sure. Okay, so, not even up north, but you got to go all the way up there.
I think there are a couple in the lower peninsula, but we'll have to look. But yeah,
because we don't have a lot of mountains. That's the problem. I feel like waterfalls require some sort of like mountain range or something.
Right, exactly. Well, hey, if the border opens up, I wouldn't mind going to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, you could do that too. I think actually driving to Niagara Falls would be perfect because have you been to Niagara Falls before?
Never.
The city, I've been on both sides. I've been in New York and I've been in Canada. Both sides, like the actual city is terrible. It's like like at least the most recent side I was in was Canada, and it just feels like a low rent Vegas or something. It's weird, and so like it's perfect for you to. But the surrounding area is gorgeous, and it's in the middle, sort of in the middle of nowhere. So it'd be perfect for someone like you to go see it and not have to just hang out in sort of a pretty actually, it's also super expensive. The town, like just a simple diner breakfast that we had was like ridiculously priced compared to like Leo's, which is way better.
Well, you know what you do in that case, Jared?
What's that?
You have a nice picnic outside.
Yeah.
Bring your own stuff and have a nice picnic outside.
Well, yeah, and fry up some eggs and bacon outside.
I mean, hey, I almost have all my stuff, so I can do that if I want to, Jared.
Almost. Dude, I've heard almost from you so much. I feel like a kid waiting for his dad to come back home, and he keeps calling him, being like, almost there. It's like, okay, waiting at my front door for you.
Oh, forgot my cigarettes. I got to go back to the store and get my cigarettes.
Not quite ready. Not quite ready. Oh, the PSI is 3 PSI off. We're going to have to postpone this and do a full breakdown of what's going on here.
Here's another good summer activity.
Are we still in
Jared.
the relaxation category?
We
Chad?
are.
Okay, I need to know these
relaxing
things.
on a porch swing.
I'm down with that. Yeah, sure.
That's a
You have a
solid
porch swing.
solid summer activity. All right, Jared, I did mention some things in other countries. So let's get to those to end today's episode because I think some of these are some fun summer activities, Jared. Number one.
I mean, everything we just said you can do in other countries.
Very true. It's all universal. That's true. But I wanted to give some specific summertime examples, especially for any listeners out there who maybe they've been saving their schmeckles during this pandemic, Jared, and they're ready to ball out a little bit. And my first one for you, Jared, is couture coffee tasting in Hawaii. So clutching the slopes of the
Is this
Mauna
the
Loa.
international sort of flair you were talking about?
Don't worry, I have some other countries. It's not just U.S. stuff. Don't worry. But this just
is
looks
that offensive, or would they actually be like, "Yeah, we don't really want to even be associated with it"? I don't know. But it is funny that you say going out of the country. You start with Hawaii.
Well, don't worry. I have some spots outside of the country.
Okay.
But anyway, so going to Hawaii for this couture coffee tasting. So this is located on the slopes of the Mauna Loa and Hualai Big Island. I guess the company is Kona Coffee. Some of the most desired, it's a type of coffee. Sorry, some of the most desired and expensive coffee in the world. Hop in your choice of luxury sedan or SUV to tour the coffee plantations where this beloved bean grows. Check out the roasting process.
What is this called?
It is couture coffee tasting. In Hawaii.
Couture. Oh, I see it.
Yep.
Kochere.
Couture. Couture. I'm pretty sure that's how you say that, right?
Sorry, COUT. All right.
There you go.
All right, just keep going. Sorry.
Next one,
I
Jared.
totally derailed it.
Next one.
I got thrown off by the luxury car thing.
Well, this sounds like it might be like some type of
luxury
package
experience
deal.
Sure,
Exactly.
I mean, I'm down for it. At first I was like, I don't know, like Hawaii's super expensive. But then when you start talking about how you get the tour in a luxury car, I'm like, you know what? I'm down. Clearly, I need to get my head out of the broke gutter that it's in.
Right.
And start living life properly.
Yeah, if you want to be leisurely, sometimes you got to drop a couple dollars, Jared. Next up is drink some champagne in Champagne, France.
Yeah, I think I've done that before, actually.
Well, look at you.
Not to brag, but I think I may have been there before.
I feel like that entire premise is just a great summertime leisure activity. Is like try some of the whatever the local drink could be, right? So like one thing I'm really looking forward to doing is hitting up some of the wineries in Traverse City. That's one thing. I'm not going to be flying to Champagne,
you keep
France,
saying that.
but
I've heard that before, and you keep saying it. I'm waiting for the report back.
Don't worry. I get my second vaccination tomorrow, so we'll pretty soon we're going to be hitting the road, Jared. This is really quite the luxurious experience here, Jared. The title here is Diamond in the Rough Dining from Dubai. So this looks like it's like a fancy fine dining outdoor restaurant, which includes a gourmet 6-course meal, belly dancer performances, and a starlit camel ride.
Yeah, no interest.
No interest? You're not trying to take a starlit camel ride?
All of that is just way too much. It's too much.
Well, here, Jared,
what about you? Does that sound good to you?
It'd be interesting. I mean,
it would be interesting. I never said it wouldn't be interesting. I said I had no interest in it.
Right. I mean,
but
I think I'd give it a try.
I guess I can't say both of those things. It's not interesting if I have no interest in it.
Right.
I guess I don't find it interesting. It's over the top to me. That's what it is.
It is very over the top. Here's one over the top
because you can't do that by yourself.
Jared.
Also, like you got to do that with someone.
Well, right, and of course, I'm inviting you to come ride the camels and do
I'd
the.
Say, I'm going to pass.
Jared doesn't want to be my date. That's okay.
You would never do something like that, Chad. By the way, you would never do that.
Do what?
You would never. That is what you just said. That
6-course meal in Dubai with a starlit camera. Why not? I'd give it a try.
None of that sounds like something that you'd be interested in.
What are you talking about? A nice meal outside, and then you get to try to ride a camel?
I mean, a nice meal outside. Who doesn't like that? Sure. I mean, there's nothing bad about the idea of that, I guess. Although you're in the desert, so I don't know.
Although I guess if you eat too much,
it's either too hot or too cold,
isn't
it?
Awkward.
Huh?
Right. Yeah, it will be, depending on when it happens, I think, when you eat. Well, the other tricky thing, too, Jared, is if you eat too much, then you got to ride a camel on a super full belly. And this is a 6-course meal. So,
well, you're telling me. Yeah, I'm already out. You don't have to convince me.
Well, Jared, I don't think this summertime leisure activity will take much convincing on your side. Drive a luxury car on the French Riviera.
I don't even the French Riviera. See, the thing about the French Riviera, yes, I'd do it for sure. Yeah, you don't even, but I don't think the French Riviera is a great place to drive. I feel like I've heard about the French Riviera from Top Gear.
Looks beautiful though in terms of scenery.
It's beautiful, but I don't think it's a great place to drive per se.
Okay.
Although I guess the French Riviera is this area of France, isn't it? It's not like a city.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just a region, isn't it?
So then I take it back. It is a great place to drive. I thought for some reason I thought it was like a specific like beachfront town or something.
Right.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm down with that. Honestly, it doesn't even have to be a luxury car. I do it in a Peugeot.
Would you do it in a Ford Transit Connect?
Yeah, you would probably get sick riding with me. Listen, I'm going to exploit everything I can out of that Ford Transit Connect, dude. I'm zooming in on some of these roads around here. These things look like proper like rally stages for race cars. These roads are amazing.
See,
dude, yeah, I'm rolling that Transit Connect off a freaking cliff.
Yeah, I think road trips are just a great summer activity, though, too, because it's like there's nothing like, Jared, rolling down your windows, playing that music with that summertime vibes, and just enjoying yourself, you know? But, Jared, we've talked a lot about outdoor activities and stuff like that. But, summer can be a very hot time of the year. And so one other really great leisure activity that I did, well, I guess it wasn't summertime at the time, but do some type of luxurious spa treatment in Bali. That would be certainly one place I would recommend. I did the Indonesian massage over there, and it was awesome. I will say it was weird, though, because they wash your feet and your legs, and it was just, my feet are a little bit ticklish, so as she was like trying to like wash my legs... Exactly. Did
they ever put your feet into like some fish or something like that?
They did. Minnows? That's Thai. I'm pretty sure that's the Thai.
Okay.
But yeah. But in general, though, I mean, Bali is a great place for
Would you
different
be down
spa
to put your
treatments,
feet into some fish? That's a leisurely activity.
I mean, yeah, I guess. When I was a kid, we used to hang our feet off the dock, and the minnows would come nibble on your feet. So, I guess nothing really changes there. What's your thought on this, Jared? Taking some type of cruise or prolonged boat trip over the summer?
No. I'm out. No.
Okay.
No interest. No interest at all. What about you, Chad? You keep just flying through these.
Right.
I want to get your opinion, too.
Right
this is not
now,
all about
probably
me.
not. But I would say when more people are vaccinated, I think I might be comfortable with that, maybe.
Vaccination, first of all, of COVID-19 is by no means going to prevent you from getting sick on a ship.
True.
That's a breeding ground for people to get sick all the time.
That's true. Maybe I need to test out my immune
like
system,
a cruise
Jared.
ship?
Yeah, maybe.
Would it be like would you prefer like some sort of themed one or like just
ideally
like a generic
Disney-themed?
luxury? Disney themed, yeah. You crying? I can't believe I'm here with Disney.
I'm finally back on
with
a
Mickey
cruise ship.
and Minnie again. This is beautiful.
I mean, no, I don't need a theme. I would love to
like
I really
cruise,
enjoyed.
maybe?
I mean, that would be cool. I don't know if I'd want to listen to jazz the whole time.
Also, I don't know if that's your crowd. Also,
bunch of old people,
yeah,
hanging out with Gertrude and Phyllis,
a bunch of boomers,
right? Right. Oh man. Yeah.
Although you'd probably be a hot commodity. Hey there, young stuff. You like this jazz? Yeah. But
right.
I don't know if I'd be interested in a jazz cruise for personally myself.
Now another summer. Yeah, cruises right now, I'm still on the fence with,
I
Jared. But
never have interest in cruises, ever.
But one thing that would be kind of cool would be, and this is kind of related to the cruise scenario, would be doing some type of like snorkeling or like swimming in like a tropical area.
Here we go again. Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, I've done that. And what islands were we off of?
I did it in the foreign country of Hawaii as well, if that's what you're talking about by islands. And I snorkeled, and it was cool. You know, you saw a bunch of like a fish that you see in like Finding Nemo and stuff, and it was cool. But once again, the older I get, honestly, probably the less interest. You just go back to the water, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out. I don't need to test my limits with sharks nearby. I don't know. It's just I guess I don't know. It's a beautiful world down there, but I still have a lot to see here up on terra firma, as they say.
Fair. That is fair. Yeah, I mean,
I'm not ready for a whole new world. Oh wait, no, that's Aladdin. I was thinking that was Little Mermaid.
Right.
Wrong Disney movie.
Maybe if you went back to Disney World, Jared, you could brush up on your Disney references for the pod.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to see me at Disney World anytime soon.
Right. I think the beauty, though, Jared, about summer leisure activities is that, I mean, yeah, we mentioned some very luxurious ones, right? Like that kind of like that coffee trip.
Yeah, which I'm down for. I'm looking that shit up right now.
It would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Or like, you know, doing a road trip with a fancy sports car down like the French Riviera. Or I would love to check out the Pacific Coast Highway. That'd be a cool one. You know, get like a nice, you know.
Do you see yourself ever going cross country in that van?
I think it'd be great. Yeah.
That wasn't the question. See, you didn't answer the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It would be great. But do you see yourself doing it?
I'll be honest with you, Jared. I thought it was towards the end. I really thought that I was going to be unemployed this summer. And I have a buddy who lives out in California, and I was really thinking about driving out there to visit him. Now that I am, thankfully, going to knock on wood, still going to be employed at least through until the fall, it'll be more weekend trips for the time being.
Isn't there a wedding in Missouri you said you were driving to?
In July.
Oh, that's July. I thought that was May. Okay.
Yep. But, Jared, you know, what I have to say about summer leisure activities is the beauty is, number one, there's so many things you can do with the beautiful weather. But number two is you don't have to do things that break the bank. You know, I mean, the great thing about leisure activities in the summer is a lot of it is free or fairly cheap. I mean, if you enjoy nature, if you get like in the US, for example, if you get that pass where you can go in, like I know in Michigan, you can get like a Metro Parks pass where I think you pay like $10 or $20 and you can go to, you know, certain parks for free.
Or half the time you go to most parks, no one's even at the front gate anyway, and you can just go in, just so you know.
That's one way to do it.
At least when we used to go mountain biking, to be fair, I did have one of those passes, though. I used to do it legit when I went all the time.
Now Jared just doesn't do it legit.
I never really go, to be honest with you.
That's fair.
At least not since I've been back.
Right. Well, if I was into mountain biking, I'd say let's do it. But I know I would just be slowing you down and and holding you back.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I think we're better off either canoeing down a nice river or you know, doing some hiking or something. But yeah, I don't know. What I have to say, though, Jared, is I'm really looking forward to the summer. I'm excited for some trips and spending some time in the outdoors. And hopefully you'll be able to join me for some of these summer leisure activities. So I'm looking forward to it.
Mm-hmm.
So let us know what some of your favorite summer leisure activities are at untranslatablepodcast@gmail.com. You can slide into those DMs on Twitter, Untranslatable1, the number 1. Check us out on Instagram and YouTube, Untranslatable Podcast. And lastly, please, 5-star reviews on iTunes and Stitcher. Let us know how we can make this podcast better for you. So, as we say here at the Untranslatable Podcast, dziękujemy, muchas gracias, shisha, and do svidania.
So about these off-road tires, bro, what are you talking about? You can't find any that fit.
I can't find any that fit, like the all-terrain